Rama Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very nice. Thank you very much. Devotees, our this Bhagavad Gita study session, it's also been live telecast at YouTube. So it is just a good reference. Right now, we don't have a good presence, a great presence in YouTube, but I'm sure down the road we will have many more subscribers. But please, I'll post it in our groups also, WhatsApp group. Please try to subscribe. So, devotees, let us read Mangala Charan now. Who would like to read, devotees?
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, devotees, Dandat Pranam, all Krishna Shri Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Ajnanatimiraandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Nilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Snapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. So, devotees, today we are going to be on chapter 7. Many significant verses. All the chapters, it's coming from Krishna. All 700 verses are amazing instruction, each and every one of them. It is said that each verse applies to different people at different situation in their life. Somebody might not have any knowledge about Bhagavad Gita or Krishna, but when they read it or they come to hear about it, they get some kind of a realization. And the same verse, after you read it 10 times, 15 times, it gives a very new meaning. New meaning is not a distracting meaning, much more in-depth knowledge you get, So it's an amazing instruction, knowledge, realization. So Krishna is taking us through this spiritual journey. So devotees, very briefly, yesterday we had a couple of questions left. One was our Shalini Mataji wanted to know what is the perverted reflection, or is it, I'm just trying to find out.
Anything that happens in this material world is a variegated, perverted variegatedness of what's happening in the spiritual world.
I'm just getting into that exact. Where was the vision of Vasudeva? Perverted reflection, right?
Yes.
So, your question was that what does it exactly means, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, actually, the term itself, perverted, has got various meaning. One could be a crude feeling towards opposite gender. Normally, in a very common language, English language, that is how people take it. If they say you are a pervert, that means you have some very crude kind of a physical intention, which is very crude, which is not normal. But generally, perversion has also got other meanings. One of the meaning is that it kind of depicts the original in a very bad way. Not intentionally, or maybe intentionally. Sometimes there is a very big artist or a singer. They would say that somebody else is trying to sing like them, but they're not that good. They would be called as they're completely, it's a perverted song, meaning it's a low kind of a quality of the original. So that is how we have to, I'm sure we must have heard about the phrase, right? Poor man's something, right?
There is one more phrase called perversion of the truth.
This is not really that way. This is a reflection, but it is not of the best quality of the reflection. So let us see what exactly, normally it is called in many other verses also, Srila Prabhupada used, that it's a very bad imitation or a bad reflection, perverted reflection, and so on. The thing is that this material world, why Srila Prabhupada is giving like that meaning? Because whatever we are trying to do here, in a very broad sense, that is what happens in the spiritual world, especially in the Goloka Vrindavan, where Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani are there. What is happening there? It's a perfect, most purified relationship of Lord Krishna, Srimati Radharani, all the devotees. Whoever can reach that kind of a level, that is what they will experience. There is no conditioning at all. There is no contamination at all. Here also in the material world, that is what each one of the living entities is trying to achieve, that one. They want to, that particular state is many acharyas have defined as Satchit Ananda. That is one of the names for Krishna. Sat, as we all know, is eternal. Chit is the consciousness, the knowledge, the realization. And Ananda is the eternal bliss. So that's the quality of consciousness in the upper spiritual platform, especially Goloka Vrindavan. Vaikuntha is called Vaikuntha because Vai means, Kunta means stress, Vai means no stress. Whereas here, even though we are trying to get that same thing, because why? Let us analyze this. Are we satisfied with temporary things? Not really. We have a weekend, but we feel that it's not long enough. Why can't I have a very prolonged weekend? That is our nature, because our soul is like that. It is looking for that permanent happiness, which is called Ananda, bliss. It's not satisfied with very temporary thing. Even the knowledge, we all need some knowledge. And we are always looking, even if you don't want to go for PhD level of education, even let's say you are just a TV junkie, even that you want to know which channel gives what program and where the sports channel are going on. So we are always looking for some information also. And the consciousness, Chit is also the perfect consciousness. And then bliss, eternal Ananda. How is it possible? We are trying that. What we are trying to do, we are trying to imitate almost Krishna. We try to develop this kind of a consciousness and happiness with ourselves, with our family, with the people we like, with our neighbors, with our city, town, state, country, sports, movie star, singer, whatever it is. We are thinking that somehow something will give me that kind of a relationship, but it doesn't happen. So that is why it is kind of called a perverted reflection. It's there. The goal is, the soul is looking for that only, but the conditions are not conducive.
Thank you,
Many,
Prabhuji.
sorry, go ahead, Mataji.
No, Prabhuji, I thought I was just thanking you. I thought you were done. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I was just saying thank you for explaining, Prabhuji.
Has anyone here been to Gangotri, Yamunotri? Some of us might have. It's considered as a very sacred pilgrimage. It's further north of almost like 150 miles from even Badrinath. Badrinath is considered even further north, So there, I have some family members who have been there. They say that that's the origin of Mother Ganges and Yamuna in this material platform, and it is very pure. The entire surrounding is complete serene. I mean, the water is sparkling. I mean, if you see that. But that same Gangotri, Yamunotri, when it flows through even a very sacred place like Haridwar, Rishikesh, Haridwar, it is slightly diluted. That is the condition, because of so many contamination. But Acharyas have said that beneath that, even in Haridwar and Rishikesh, beneath that, Mother Ganges, Yamuna, they are very, very pure. But on the surface, it looks they are all very contaminated. And when you go to the city, the Delhi, Yamuna is completely, in and around, even in Vrindavan, near Vrindavan, Yamuna is no more longer, you cannot do anything with that water. They have polluted that so much. Anything, all objects are just floating on, the most purified Yamuna river. Why that is happening? It's the same. That is because of the material contamination. So similarly, I'm just giving you this as an analogy. The same spiritual platform, we belong to that. Our soul is, part and parcel of Krishna, which is Satchitananda. But because we have this material contamination, we are not able to feel, we are not able to realize our original position, and we are caught in a always constant, this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi is itself a painful process, and then always dualities. What is the duality? Sometimes happiness, sometimes sadness, sometimes cold, sometimes hot, sometimes feeling good, sometimes, depressed, just coming all the time, In Goloka Vrindavan, nothing. 24/7, 360, eternal. There is nothing called a beginning or end there. Everything is eternal there. From Krishna, we are also eternal. But unfortunately, we have to take, because we are also combined with this material format, we are constantly attacked by the material nature, the three modes of material nature. So does it give some answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you for explaining. Very well explained. Beautifully explained.
So that kind of may lead to one of our other, maybe we won't spend too much time about why calamities happen. For example, something like a flight, the tragic flight accident, or even before that, we have seen something like a tsunami. Just on a fraction of moment, many people, thousands of people, I don't know whether it is 450,000 or 500,000 people, they just vanished. Just within half an hour, the entire, population is gone. So, even yesterday we briefly discussed this. A bus carrying certain devotees going to Kedarnath, Badrinath, it seems it met with an accident, and all the devotees who were either they were coming back, I'm not sure, or they were visiting, they lost their life. So the question always comes to our mind that why such things happen, and especially they are all going to temple. If this is the condition, and our Baldesa Prabhu very nicely explained, maybe the positive way of thinking is that they have reached their destination. They wanted to be with God. They have now, reached the spiritual platform. That is one way of looking at things. But what we can do is that the way we have to analyze this is, why not we very briefly read devotees, one verse from Bhagavad Gita, which is very important. This is the basis for our entire understanding. Unless we have 100% conviction on this, there are quite a few verses. We'll just read one of those. Why not one of us read the Sanskrit and the translation only? Bhashwati Mataji, you want to read the Sanskrit?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, give me a second. Sorry. Na jayate mriyate va kadachina nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nityaya shashvatayam purano na hannate hannamane sarire.
Devotees, can one of us read the English translation?
I can, Prabhuji, yeah. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain.
Yeah, devotees, this is a very powerful verse. Of course, the next 2-3 verses, Krishna, this is chapter 2. Devotees, unless we completely understand chapter 2 and we implement that philosophy and we have 100% conviction about those verses, it will be very difficult for us to understand Bhagavad Gita. Because this is the essence, that we are eternal. He is not slain. Krishna is talking about the soul. The soul is not slain when the body is slain. Body will change. And in the next 2-3 verses, Krishna will say that our body is like a garment. When it becomes old or when it becomes not usable or when, Krishna feels that we need a different body, we have to leave this body. So, but right now we are attached to the body because we still don't have the 100% conviction or 100% realization that we are completely eternal. Once if you have that, that is why Krishna is saying this, chapter 2 is very important because he's telling Arjuna, do not worry about all your cousins, uncle, even your guru, Bhishma Pitama, because that body will be gone. But even if you want, you cannot kill their Atma, whoever it is, good or bad. You cannot kill their Atma because Atma belongs to Krishna. That's why he's called Paramatma. Paramatma means it's Krishna. It is a very known understanding in the Vedic knowledge, in the Vedic system, in the Vedic culture. Paramatma means Krishna only. There is no. We don't say Shiv Paramatma or Ganesh Paramatma. Only Krishna Paramatma. So that soul belongs to only Krishna, eternal. That is our original nature. But we are caught in this, temporary world, which is the Maya and the material world. Krishna calls this as Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. Dukhalayam meaning it is filled with misery. Why it is misery? It is very temporary. Whatever we have, our child, when they were in the first few years, they were all so pure. Why do we like children? They're so pure, they're so dependent on you. Slowly, that child becomes a complete adult. Now we have so many problems, that adult does not listen to us or they don't do things as we want them to act. A lot of misunderstanding starts happening and they slowly develop their own contamination. It's a conditioning. That's the nature of the material nature. But Krishna is saying, if you can come out of it, that's what we read yesterday, devotees. Bahunam janmana mante, jnanaman man prapatyate, vasudeva sarvam miti, sa mahatma sudurmada. After taking several continuous millions and millions of this eternal janma mrityu jara vyadi, ultimately, at some point of time, we come to know that everything is Krishna. So we, in one way, we have to pray for all the departed soul, that hopefully either they have already achieved that stage, that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, and they are with Krishna. That's a very nice way of prayer. Or very soon they will get another opportunity to be there on that platform. So this has to be looked only on a very spiritual angle. If we are going to talk to this to some person who is not interested in spirituality or doesn't want to understand, he will just think that you are a very arrogant person. You have no emotion, you don't have any compassion. So many people have been lost, and you are going and giving them some philosophy of eternity. But they will say, where is my family member? Right? Which is correct. They obviously, everybody, but the person who has really understood the full background, even though there will be sorrow, why there is sorrow? Even Arjuna cries after listening to Bhagavad Gita, because his son was killed. Abhimanyu was a very young, he was only 16, and Arjuna could not control that. In fact, there is another very nice pastime also, but we will not get into that. So anyhow, this happens to even because Arjuna is also in the material platform at that particular moment of time. So he has little bit lost track of this, that he is unborn. Abhimanyu is also eternal. Nobody can touch Abhimanyu. And Abhimanyu, what has Abhimanyu done? Even today in New Tampa, we are able to talk about Abhimanyu because he was such a great warrior. He was such a great personality. If Abhimanyu would have lived maybe for 100 years, I'm not sure whether he would have had the same glory. It's all Krishna's arrangement. So we don't know what are the conditions. Then there is something called a karma also, which is a very complex subject matter. I'm not even qualified to talk about that. It's got micro level, it's got macro level. What happens to one person could be, there is something called Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika. Adhyatmika is whatever we have done. Then Adi Bhautika is something happened because of somebody else did to us. And then Adi Devika is the what we call as the Krishna's, design, how the karma, how the karma takes place. We don't know who got how much of karma. But all we know is that once if we take Krishna as our primary goal, everything will slowly go away. Then we don't have to really worry about, even if you have to leave this body, my only goal, Krishna, please give me another body if I have to, but always give me the opportunity. I can always think about you, remember you all the time. I can serve you. That's Prahlad Maharaj's prayer was that, Krishna, oh Lord Hari, always keep me in that position that I'm able to remember you. Forgetting Krishna is considered as a very big danger, spiritual danger. So devotees, that was a very brief kind of an analysis, but calamities will keep on coming. It will never stop. That is the material nature, But the thing is that our goal, that also should be an alert for us. That could happen to us next day morning. So am I really utilizing at least some part of my life, try to remember Krishna? That is the most important thing. So these are all also can be a good wake-up call, alert for us also. We don't know what will happen next day morning. Next moment, what will happen, nobody knows. So devotees, sorry I took quite a bit of time, but I thought, because there are some questions also why bad things happen. For that, we have to understand there cannot be any bad thing to the soul. Soul cannot be even changed, even little bit. So any question, devotees? I know Mahesh Prabhu had a comment yesterday.
Prabhuji, thank you very much. It was like a very small question I have in my mind. It's like in the last verse we say that after many births and deaths, the devotee becomes a Mahatma, and I'm sure it is true because Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself has told that that the great soul will become a Mahatma. So how in this present world, means I'm just correlating that to the present world, and as we are mm, finding like so many incidents where like there is a big wars going on, like Israel, Palestine, and all those Middle East and everywhere. Yeah. So so is that Mahatma? Are we waiting for that Mahatma to come, or he is already there, or is how I can recognize that person who is a Mahatma, and how I can follow him? Because that's my lifetime, and I want to be like to find out that person, so I can be close to him, right? Yeah. So that was my simple question.
Yeah, very good, Prabhu. Actually, Krishna is saying here, everyone can become a Mahatma. Mahesh Prabhu has got every opportunity to become a Mahatma. Everyone right now in this group, we have equal opportunity to become a Mahatma. And then your question is that, is there already a Mahatma? Yeah, though so many Acharyas have come. So many. That is why, Prabhuji, I will see if I have this ISKCON Parampara. The entire Parampara, if you will see, there are almost like 32, 33 Acharyas. Just those are all the most, prominent. There are many more than that. They completely dedicated their life as Mahatma. Each one of them. Let me see if I have that. Okay, maybe. Are you able to see this screen, devotees?
Yes, I can see at least.
Okay, so this is, for example, you asked who is a Mahatma. I would say, of course, this is Krishna, the Supreme Lord himself, Brahma, they're all from this, Madhvacharya, every soul is a Mahatma, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Everybody. Because they have Vasudeva Sarvam Miti. All this, Acharya.
All the Acharyas.
All of them. Some of them were complete sannyasis. Some of them were grihastha and then became sannyasi. Our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, was a grihastha.
Mm-hmm.
Then only at a later point of time, after he had completed one thing, we had discussed this in chapter 2, 3, 4, etc. You should also just not jump into sannyasa because no, there is always it's a step-by-step process. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely, he displayed how to be in the spiritual path, He also was married, he also had kids. Our Bhakti Vinoda Thakura, who is the father of Srila Prabhupada's guru, who is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he had almost like 11 children. Complete grihastha, magistrate in the court of Orissa. So very hectic, very powerful, demanding job, family. At the same time, he had this complete, he was a Mahatma. Because he has written so many books about Krishna. And how do they get into that? That is what is Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
It is not limited by anything. It's not limited by our race, how we look, what is my background. It is not limited by our education. It is not limited by our communication skill. Nothing matters. All it matters is that have we cultivated this simple love for Krishna, understanding that Krishna is everything.
Everywhere. Yeah. I got it now. Yeah.
Devotees, any more questions, thought before we get into the actual verse for today? Okay. Let's read, devotees. This is also a very important verse, chapter 7, verse 20. Who can read? Mahesh Prabhu, why don't you start today?
I can do that. Yeah. Chapter 7, sloka 20. a little bit up scroll, please?
Oh, sorry. You are a Sanskrit person.
Yeah. कामे स्तुतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्ते अन्यदेवताः तं तं नियममास्ताय प्रकृत्या नियतः स्वया.
Two more devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. I can read. Right. Dandavat Pranam, everyone. Kamastayastayarritagena prapadante anna devata tam tam niyamam asthaya prakrita niyata shaya.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Very good. Shama Mataji, would you like to chant this verse? Okay. Is Baldesva Prabhu here? Would you like to read, Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hajur Dandavat Pranam, all good, sure, Prabhu. Kamostoi srito jnana prapodante anno devata tam tam niyamam asthayo prakrita niyato shaya.
Haribol, Prabhu. Devotees, one devotee can read synonym translation. A purport, maybe one devotee can read. We can finish it.
Yeah, I can read the synonym.
Okay.
Kame by desires, Taistrei, various, Rita, deprived of, Jnana, of knowledge, Prapadyante, surrender, Anya to other, Devata, demigods, Tam Tam, corresponding, Niyamam, regulations, Astaya, following, Prakritiya, by nature, Niyataha, controlled, Swaya, by their own. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Prabhu. Dear devotees, purport. Krishna Mataji is here today. Would you like to read this, Mataji? Maybe at least one paragraph and a Sanskrit verse.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can. Purport: those who are freed from all material contaminations surrender unto the Supreme Lord and engage in His devotional service. As long as the material contamination is not completely washed off, they are by nature non-devotees. But even those who have material desires and who resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by external nature. Because of approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lust. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended that whether one is a pure devotee and is free from all material desire, or is full of material desires, or desires liberation from material contamination, he should in all cases surrender to Vasudeva and worship him. As stated in the Bhagavatam 2.3.10, अकामः सर्वकामो वः मोक्षकाम उदारदीह तीव्रेण भक्ति योगेन यजेत पुरुषं परम. Hare
Very
Krishna.
nice, Mataji. Pawan Prabhuji, would you like to read this paragraph?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality, Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead, because they are in the lower modes of nature, ignorance and passion, and therefore worship various demigods. following the rules and regulations of worship, they are satisfied. The worshippers of demigods are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme goal. But a devotee of the Supreme Lord is not misguided, because in Vedic scriptures there are recommendations for worshipping different gods for different purposes, etc. A deceased man is recommended to worship the sun. Those who are not devotees of the Lord think that for certain purposes demigods are better than the Supreme God, Lord. But a pure devotee knows that the Supreme Lord Krishna is the master of all. In the Chaitanya Charitramatra
Charitramrit.
Charitramre is said, it is said, uh, Ekale Isvara Krishna Ara Sabha Bhartya. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is master and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Pawan Prabhu, would you like to share anything? I mean, based on whatever you...
Yeah, I mean, what I understand from this is the on the second paragraph that I read, a lot of like people are given, hey, these are the rules, these are the rituals, and again to perform, to demigods for their personal gains in this material world, be it health or be it money or be it anything, and they are just um, doing it for temporary personal gain, versus going, once they realize that the Supreme Lord is the right Lord, and kind of follow Lord Krishna, whatever he gives makes more sense in the long run than just trying to find immediate satisfaction by worshipping the demigods.
That's a very good understanding and explanation, Prabhuji. That's very good. I'm seeing our Venkatesh Prabhu is here. Prabhu, would you like to share some thoughts?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My small understanding would be that every human has his requirements, and so like they might be under the misconception that to get certain requirements fulfilled, they have to approach certain demigods. But since all the demigods come from the Supreme God Himself, it's rather, what do you say? We should approach the father of all, like all there is himself. So, yeah, that would be my small understanding.
Very nice, Prabhu. You have brought out a very good point, important point, that all these devas and devatas, they are only controlled by Krishna. So ultimately, Krishna would also explain this in the next 2-3 verses, that when somebody wants to really worship a deva or a devata, Krishna becomes their bhakti, faith. He only, let's say I want to worship a particular form of, well, it can be anybody, Surya, Chandra, Indra, Brahma, whatever, I mean, you want. Then he only, he will create the faith in your heart to worship the demigod, because he wants you to go through the process. And the devotees have already gone through that. So the recommendation to the devotees is that we don't have to really go back and start from, like a person is doing PhD. He need not again come back to elementary school and start everything from the beginning. That will not be a very intelligent thing. That's why Krishna is saying intelligent. He's bringing the intelligence here. Where is intelligent here? Yeah, jnana, right? Those whose intelligence has been stolen, right? And kama, this is also we have to understand, devotees. This is not anyone who just goes and pray to some deva and devatas for their necessity. Let's say somebody doesn't have even a shelter. Maybe he doesn't have any other option. He'll go to any demigod that is available in this condition. We don't know right now the name, depending on where he is. If he's in India, he has got many. There are like how many demigods are there, Subal Prabhu? 330 million.
33 crores. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is like 330 million types of devis and devatas. So you can go there, but that should be only for, if at all, only for your bare necessity. But here, Bhagavatam, let's say that person doesn't even have the opportunity to listen Bhagavatam. What will you do? Right? I don't think Krishna will punish him because they don't have the association, they don't have the scriptures, they don't have the guru, they don't know what is Bhagavatam, they don't know Bhagavad Gita, but they have very simple prayers for their necessity. Krishna is not going to punish them, but Krishna is saying, by kamaha, by your excessive desires for something, these are all people who have the ability to understand Krishna. They have the ability, they can read. Most of us, we can read, we can hear, most of us can hear this, right? If we go back, Krishna says that is not an intelligence at all. It is like, again, the PhD guy going back to elementary school. There is a good possibility he will not become PhD again, right? If somebody, devotees, how many of us can go back to middle school and pass the exam? I will fail, I know, because we have lost touch. We don't know anything right now, right? So we have reached a level, we are in a different level right now. Our concentration is on Krishna. We should just, continue with that and make that stronger and stronger and advance in that spiritual battle. Right now, we should not get distracted. And if somebody is in that path right now, in a humble way, because we are not gurus or sadhus or maharajas, right? So we are all also aspiring devotees. So whatever we are understanding from Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport, we'll give that to other devotees also, who are, let's say, who are going to other demigod. We can tell them that, hey, you know what? This is what Bhagavad Gita is, telling us. This is an opportunity. Sa Mahatma su durlabha. There is an opportunity to become Mahatma this lifetime. So why don't we try that? We can quote some of this verses from Bhagavad Gita. This one, the next 3-4 verses. How becoming Mahatma is not just a chance, or it's a complete long history behind, like a credit report. We may not know. We may be just reading the final credit report, but it has been accumulated for 30, 40, 50 years in a lifetime, right? Like that, for us, millions of birth has taken place. Today, on a Tuesday, some of us have assembled to talk about Krishna. So there is a reasonable understanding that many of us are trying to understand and make Krishna Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. So we should continue on that devotee. Because Krishna is giving all choice. Even in the next verse, whoever is going to become attached to the demigod, he's saying, I'm going to be the faith. I am in everyone's heart. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady. He makes it, Krishna. Nobody else. Why is doing that? Because they have chosen. This simple desire, devotees, is very important. That is what is a small free will we have. If somebody asks, what is the we don't have too much free will. We suddenly cannot go to Goloka Vrindavan. But the free will we have is that we can desire for Krishna. That is the seed for all spiritual advancement. We should have that desire that, yes, this lifetime, I'm going to go back to God. How about that? Namananda Prabhu, how about we make a kind of a complete determination?
Sure, Prabhuji.
You want to say something to me?
Wonderful explanation, Prabhuji.
Subal Prabhuji, you want to say something to me?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji, wonderfully explained. So we can see that, even as Prabhuji was saying, everybody is, all the devatas are parts and parcels of Krishna. So that is the reason if we water the roots of the plants, every stem, every leaf, every branch gets nourished. So in the same way, it is very difficult for us to please every demigod individually. Like, it will be like watering each leaf of the big tree. So by worshipping Lord Krishna, everyone will get automatically their fair share. And also because the reason in this Kali Yuga, of course, mainly people go to the demigods with a big list, but our only desire should be to get the mercy of the Lord. Even when we go to pray Lord Shiva, Surya, or anybody, so we should have the conviction that Lord Krishna, please because Lord Shiva is Ashutosh. He generally gives very pleases easily. So that's why the best thing we can pray is to get Krishna Prema. That's my understanding, Prabhuji. Please, Hare Krishna.
And also devotees, only Krishna can liberate. That is the highest goal for any living entity, especially human species. People who are in the living entities in the human form are already given a very powerful, structure. If you're not going to use that for the highest purpose is to become completely God realized, Krishna consciousness realized, and reach the spiritual platform, reach Goloka Vrindavan. Otherwise, we'll be missing this amazing opportunity, right? Krishna says that's why in the final, Sarva Dharman Paritejya, Mam Ekam Sharanam Bhaja, is he competing with other demigods? No. You need not, it's not that he's claiming something that you come to me. This is not a political or some club that he is running for some office or anything like that. No. Krishna is the Supreme Father. He's very concerned. He's saying, you have gotten this very rare opportunity. Now, just, think about me, surrender to me. I will take care of you. Spiritually, you are completely taken care of. Moksha, he's using the phrase moksha. Devotees, we even don't want moksha. We are saying, Krishna, keep me wherever you want. But please, I want to be with you. I want to serve you. That's it. So devotees, more Krishna Mataji, you want to say something? Shalini Mataji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I actually have a question regarding this. The thing is, I extremely believe in Krishna, but I also have little faith in astrology. In astrology, it is sometimes prescribed to do some certain type of mantra jap, or some ritual or anything. So the question is, if you believe in Krishna, should you believe in astrology, or you should just don't believe in those things?
Very good question, Mataji. When the Mahabharata war was about to happen, when it became inevitable, when both parties came to know that Mahabharata war is going to happen, even Bhishma, who's very learned, who gave the Vishnu Sahasranama, he calls Sahadev. Sahadev is one of the youngest brothers of the Pandavas, Nakul and Sahadev. Sahadev was an expert astrologer. Expert. So, Bhishma Pitama asked him, you tell me, Sahadev, what is the right day to begin the war? Now we are done. How do we interpret this? This Bhishma Pitama has given us Vishnu Sahasranama. At the end, he talks about all the glorification of Krishna. Why is he talking about astrology? That is because at that point, in that role, in the war, our the well-being of the society per Shastra, per Dharma, is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So if you go in that path, yes, all this are all needed. But if you go as a devotee, you just surrender to Krishna. In that moment, in my best thinking, my thinking is only based on whatever I read from Srila Prabhupada and other Acharya. We may not really need other astrology or anything. Because it is all Krishna's arrangement. Yeah, Krishna can change astrology. Astrology cannot change Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, just to add to that, whatever we read in this verse is completely aligned with astrology also. Because this verse says, you are praying to demigods and other, local demigods to get material things. And that is what exactly the astrology also does, is gives us, you pray to the sun god for this, you pray to, these mantras for these particular planets. So most of the mantras and the remedies that we get are to fix our problems in this material life only. It is not any solution for your eternal gratification, and it is not a solution for eternally being with Lord Krishna.
Right. Very good. Pawan Prabhu, very good explanation, Prabhu. Prabhu, you know something about astrology, right? I mean,
Yeah, Prabhuji. I have been learning astrology for 3.5-4 years now.
Oh, Hari.
So yeah, it has. That's kind of what driven me towards the spiritual path also. It kind of explains how our birth, rebirth is happening, and what is our prarabdha karma, what is our sanchita karma. So it explains a lot of it. So once you think of that as a spiritual path, it kind of it gives us more knowledge, and also the struggles that we go through in our life. The prarabdha tells us what bad things we have done in the past to experience these things in this life. So then it gives us chance to fix those things and move and become a better person.
Very good. Excellent understanding, Prabhu. Whatever tool we use, whether it is astrology or reading other scriptures, the final goal is to realize Krishna and surrender to Him. And if astrology can make it faster, learn. I mean, talk to Pawan Prabhu also. He can exactly tell you that what is the purpose of astrology. All as Pawan Prabhuji was saying, it's more about your material, immediate, challenges, whether it is good or bad. What period are you going through? Do you have any calamities that can be foreseen? Are there any Prabhu, I think you can do some certain activities to counter some calamities, right?
100%, Prabhuji, 100%. Like, I mean, it is one of the limbs of the Vedas. It is called the Eye of the Veda. So, and it is written by Maharishi Parashara, who is the father of Veda Vyas. So the overall knowledge, and he was called the Trikala Murti. Parashara is called the Trikala Murti because he could see the past, present, and future, all the three Kal. And again, we all look at a lot. I mean, everything that is there good in the Vedas. Again, there is so many millions of people who also misuse it for their personal gain and become these astrologers who are just charging money and doing things for a lot of things, right? But if we truly look into what Maharishi Parashara wrote, is truly to one help ourselves in this life, not just to gain material stuff, but to fix some of the things that we have done in the past. So if there is some people suffer with certain disease, or some people suffer with whatever XYZ things, if the primary reason for that suffering would be they have abused that same thing in some of prior life, and they have so the astrology helps us see what we have done wrong in the past and helps us to rectify it, and God gives us another chance so to look at it. But most people just go there to say, oh, when am I going to get married, when am I going to get a job, and when am I getting, when will I become rich? So like generally that has become the so that's why it gets a bad name. But if you truly get deeply into it in a spiritual way, it is giving us understanding of what we did in the past and how we can rectify it and move towards moksha.
Very good. Excellent, Prabhu. So, Krishna Mataji, to Pawan Prabhuji has given a lot of information. But here, if you look at it, we should not take any tools, whether it is astrology or any kind of other, stream of understanding. A pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction for material needs. So the question is that, are we trying to, as Pawan Prabhuji was saying, are we seeking the help of astrology for some material gain? Then we are again going back. It's like you are going two-step good in spiritual platform, then you are again one step, two step back. So that's not good advancement. But this is a process. We are all right now aspiring. But based on my whatever knowledge, whatever I have gathered, if you have complete faith in Krishna, that will take care of everything. But that does not mean you will keep on doing mistakes and Krishna will take care of it. That's not good understanding.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for explaining so nicely.
Okay. So devotees, what we will do, it's almost 9. We can conclude here. I just wanted to, I had something in my mind when Shalini Mataji asked about this, what is that? Perverted reflection, right? So there is a very interesting, very humorous episode with Radhanath Swami Maharaj. This has been narrated by one of your very prominent disciple called Gauranga Prabhu, Gauranga Das. So Gauranga Das, this is in the Mumbai ISKCON temple, and at that time the pizza was becoming very popular. So these devotees used to make pizza. They used to make big dough, large, pizza, put a lot of vegetable there, put some tomato sauce. And they used to do this like almost like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And then one Sunday, Gauranga Prabhu goes to Radhanath Swami Maharaj and he asks, Maharaj, what shall we, do you prefer any special prasadam for this Sunday? So Radhana Maharaj would say, yeah, why not we do pizza? So Gauranga Prabhu would say, Maharaj, we only did pizza like the last 5 weeks. He said, that really? Is that pizza? I thought it was some Indian dish, Then later on, he took them to the kitchen. He showed them how to do a pizza. Because they were just putting all those things like almost like a dosa. So Radhanath Swami Maharaj thought it was some kind of an Indian dish that they were preparing every 4 or 5 weeks. Then it took them like 2-3 weeks to learn how to make a real good, nice, pizza, authentic, original. So that is what is the real world and the material world. The material world, we think whatever we are doing is, the best. So I thought I'll share that, devotees. So.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for explaining it. It makes it much more easy to understand.
Right. So, devotees, shall we conclude here? Any final comment, Baldev Sir Prabhu, before we conclude?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I?
Please go.
So, Prabhuji, if you please discuss tomorrow, I don't know whether tomorrow will be here, about the demigod worship by the devotees.
Yeah.
Because Krishna himself here says in the sloka that people who are after the material desires to fulfill, they worship demigods. So, but Krishna's devotee, they know that Krishna is everything. He is the supreme. So, no need to worship demigods. So, I have a question. I need some clarification, Prabhuji, about this demigod worship, or participating in the demigod worship other than Krishna. So, maybe
Shall we, it is you want to now or tomorrow? You're saying,
no,
right?
not now, Prabhuji. It's already out of time. So
Sure, definitely. I think tomorrow, I'm sure one of us will lead. We can definitely. It's a very important thing. What Bhashati Mataji is asking, just the process of worshipping all these devas and devatas, is that even valid? Is it approved path? It's a very interesting, very important. I think we should all discuss. I'm sure we'll discuss tomorrow.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, devotees, we shall conclude here. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. ISKCON Temple Sankirtana ki jai. Temple Bhagavad Gita study session ki jai. All good.
Thank you.
Jai Sri Ram.
Very good. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.